Alright, I've changed some settings. Audio test. Cool. So for those of you that are already here, I'm going to be adding a stream starting soon graphic, probably within the next stream or two. I've got someone finalizing it now. So I'm learning how to use different sources and such in OBS to go and mess around with some of those things. So this screen, oh, I need to mute that now. So this screen is going to have a really sweet image featuring Thalia soon. And I wanted to sort of do something to like formalize a countdown timer until stream starts. I'll pretty this stuff up once I have my actual image that I'm going to work with. Oh no, I had an artist do something specifically for me. It looks really sharp. I think you'll all quite like it. It's rather adorable. Yeah, I hope Mark starts streaming again sometime soon. Wouldn't hate seeing his opinion on D&T in the current metagame. Sometime soon, perhaps. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, and today we're going to be doing a... Sorry, is that too much background noise on your end, or is there something on my end that's decreasing my audio quality? Just to clarify real quick before I get started. Oh, okay. Everything's fine on my end. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, good. I see. It's Folly, glad to have you live, and thank you for your donation. By the way, I'll probably work on what you requested tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon is when I'll probably do that. I've got something in mind. Okay, so now, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, and today we're going to be playing with Soldier Stompy. So this is a deck that I messed around with a little bit in the like pre-Deathrite Shaman ban era, and it was a fine deck. I think I 5-0'd with it once, and had a bunch of middling results otherwise. So for anyone who's never sort of had an experience with this deck, essentially it plays a similar game plan as a deck like, say, Eldrazi does, where you're trying to accelerate out lock pieces like Chalice of the Void before finishing the game with sort of like big annoying creatures. But this deck's a little bit different. So rather than having like just acceleration in the form of lands, this deck also has Chrome Mox. And as far as like hate pieces go, you have Small Thalia, and you have Big Thalia. So not only can you invalidate certain spells from your opponent's deck, but you can also really hamper their mana. Now, you don't have Wasteland in this deck to supplement this like Eldrazi does, but you still got a good game plan. The best card in this deck, not close, is probably Palace Jailer. In this shell where you can accelerate it out early with Chrome Mox and Soul Lands, Palace Jailer is very, very powerful. Just like getting ahead and being able to just like vomit stuff on the board continuously is great. So I've made a couple of changes since the bannings to this deck list, and I waffled back and forth in constructing this deck list. The first thing I did was add one more land. I found that I was playing a decent number of 4-drops, and I always wanted to get to 4. I also wanted... Suppression Field is going to get its own thing in a minute, don't you worry. And I wanted to go and hit my white cards more consistently, so I figured adding in one more land was probably safe. What plains is this? Alright. Dodged a bullet there. Get out. Whew. Almost submitted a suboptimal list. Okay. The other thing I added in was Militia Bugler. I wasn't sure whether or not this card was going to be good. I think it is. So it's a 2/3 Vigilance for 3. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 4, and you can put a creature with power 2 or less from them into your hand, and the rest go to the bottom of your library. So in this deck, this will hit everything except for Thalia Heretic Cathar. There's a chance that it misses, like that's real in a deck without cantrips, but I think it is another decent sort of way to get card advantage, and that's something that this deck is already good at. Like, you have Enlistment Officer, which is like Goblin Ringleader, but for soldiers. You have Palace Jailer, and just adding in one more card is probably good. Truth be told, I don't really know whether or not this is just better than Recruiter of the Guard, because Recruiter of the Guard will go and get everything, but this is a 2/3 with Vigilance, so its body on its own matters. I often found that, like, playing Recruiter of the Guard in this deck, I just did not have time to cast it. I had other things that I wanted to be doing on curve, and that's why I took it out. But, like, there is something to be said about the ability to tutor. Oh, I guess Recruiter wouldn't get Fairgrounds Warden. Alright, so there's one thing in the deck it wouldn't get. So, otherwise, the main deck is mostly unchanged. The other reason to, like, want to play this list is Suppression Field. This card does not look like a good Magic the Gathering card. Activated abilities cost 2 more to activate unless they're mana abilities. Why do I care about that? That doesn't seem all that scary. But in practice, this card is horrifying, especially for decks like, say, Death and Taxes, that have vials and equipment and things like Stoneforge Mystic that they want to activate. This can really cripple a lot of decks in the format. Also, this hits fetch lands. So when you have something like Suppression Field plus Thalia Heretic Cathar, the lands enter tapped, and you have to pay 2 in order to go and fetch. It can be really devastating. As far as the sideboard goes, I haven't made very many changes. I think I added a 3rd copy of Rest in Peace because there's a lot of, like, Maverick and Loam running around in addition to all of, like, Dredge and Reanimator. And I also added 2 copies of Blessed Alliance instead of Holy Light. Holy Light was really good against Grixis Delver, but if Rug Delver is the flavor of choice right now, I'd rather have something that can go and answer, like, Tarmogoyf, Nimble Mongoose, Flipped Delver, and to a lesser extent, True Name Nemesis as well. Otherwise, most of what I had before is probably pretty good. This is a bonus stream. I wasn't really planning on streaming today, but we did hit my 1,100 follower goal, which I'm very happy about. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. My Soldier Stompy leagues in the past have been really swingy. A lot of times I just, like, straight up murder people, and other times I don't have a chance in the game. So we'll kind of see how this goes. Regardless, I've always had fun playing this deck. I talked with Chantel Campbell a little bit last night about this deck, and we came up with a different deck list. It had Ballyrush Banneret in it, and I'm not sure whether or not that card's actually good. So for anyone who doesn't know it, it's a 2-drop that makes your soldiers cost 1 less. And I thought about playing that, and, like, I had the deck list put together, And then I'm like, you know, I should probably just play another land over that. It's not really a good 2-drop. I want to play all of these above it. And then if I make it to turn 3, I just want to play all of these before the Valley Rush Banneret. So I just cut that. It was in the deck list momentarily. Harsh Mentor has seen some legacy play. Not a lot, but some. People were excited about it in Burn and then tried it out in Burn and then realized that there are just better options available to you. Ignore this. This is... God, I had a bad night. I ran 2 leagues with Eldrazi last night off stream, and I just got crushed. I was not pleased. I just, hit a stream of Moto Grinders, followed by another stream of Moto Grinders, most of which were playing decks that were good against mine. It was rough. Yeah, Harsh Mentor was much more exciting with top around. Agreed. I somehow still have play points left after last night, which amazes me. No. The Secret Tech deck list is my Legacy Premier League deck list. I don't want it to be known exactly what I'm playing. People know I'm going to be on D&T, that's fine, but in an event of that nature, knowing the exact sideboard cards matters a lot. Yes, I would like to play first. This hand produces either turn 2 Thalia Heretic Cathar or turn 2 Preeminent Captain. That's fine, this is a keep. The great thing about this hand is that, on turn 1, it's just going to look like I'm Death and Taxes. This is an acceptable hand versus Black-Red Reanimator. Thalia Heretic Cathar is pretty good. I also have the Caracas, so if my opponent just, goes Grizzlebrand... Oh, never mind! Lol, JK. We are playing against Bombardment, folks. Okay. So the question I want to ask now is, do I just, want to play out Preeminent Captain to crap in dudes, or do I need to just play Thalia Heretic Cathar this turn? I think I just play Big Thalia. The Bombardment list is really mana hungry, and a lot of times they want to do things like tap the Gravecrawler 5 times in a turn, so this can really mess with people. So I'll probably play Thalia Heretic Cathar this turn, play Preeminent Captain next turn, and then start crapping in Daru Warchiefs. Most of the cards in my opponent's deck can't actually block, so I can get really aggressive. Also, just take a minute to let it sink in how crazy good Thalia Heretic Cathar is going to be against, an Undiscovered Paradise. Oh yes, the tapped fetch land. The best of all fetch lands. Taking Warchief is interesting. I'm going to take a minute to, like, parse through what exactly that means. Does that perhaps mean, like, Goblin Bombardment is in their hand and they want to be able to pick off my small things? And if that's the case, like, I should just play a Daru Warchief this turn? Huh. I kind of want to just, like, slam the captain like I was intending on doing. But it might just be better to play Little Thalia this turn, keep them 100% off of casting a Bombardment, and then play Daru Warchief naturally the following turn. Which I think I actually like better. Thalia also probably just stops a discard spell as well. My opponent might have a basic swamp. That may not be true. I mean, even if they have a discard spell and a bombardment, and they use, like, discard spell to take my other war chief, I still just crack them for 5. They go down to 9, effectively at 8 from the Verdant Catacombs, and then I just, like, play Preeminent Captain and play a Caracas to bounce any one of these things that they start to attack. So how much do I value this Thalia is the question, because I can just, like, float 2 mana, play my Caracas to protect Thalia, Chrome Mox Preeminent Captain, cast Daru Warchief. I'd kind of like that. Oh, Arkham, thank you very much for hosting. For anyone joining in, I'll give you a proper introduction in a minute, but the short version is we're playing against Sam Pardee. He is on Goblin Bombardment, Zombardment, if you will, and I am playing Soldier Stompy. Oh wait, this plan doesn't work due to my own Thalia. For the Chrome Mox portion of it. Okay. Never mind. Plan canceled. my opponent has disconnected. So, Arkan, I actually think the Bombardment deck is probably better than people are giving it credit for. Like, the Stitcher Supplier is really, really good in the deck, in my opinion. Yeah, so for anyone not familiar with, like, the history of this deck, Sam Black made this deck, and he piloted it to some absurd finish. It was like, I don't remember if it was like top 8 of a GP or top 8 of some SCG Open. He just, like, absolutely crushed with this deck list. And then everyone else tried to pick it up, and it was like, what does this deck do? How does this deck work? Like, what is going on? Like, it never really had any success ever again outside of that one weekend. It's kind of difficult to play. There's an absurd amount of sequencing associated with it, and there's a lot of, like, risk-reward of, like, what do I do with this Faithless Looting? Like, can I afford to take a turn off to loot? Do I need to, use this turn to Thoughtseize? Do I need to fill my graveyard? You know, how much do I want to play around Surgical? So my opponent now has, like, the Gravecrawler Machine Gun going. So I think I just want to, like, not play out another card this turn. Once I draw another land, I can, like, play a Preeminent Captain with, like, still holding Caracas up. But I think I just want to protect my Thalia Heretic Cathar. Alright, let's make my opponent be good. Now they can snipe this Thalia Heretic Cathar by fetching and sacking the Bloodghast. Or not. A Cabal Therapy here would be rough, because it would get both big Thalias. Followed by both Preeminent Captains. My Kingdom for a Suppression Field. Ooh, Lingering Souls there too now. I wouldn't go so far to say Teferi is like standard for miracles, but it's becoming much more popular. My opponent doesn't even need to attack to kill me now. They can just Goblin Bombardment me out. Okay. Rest in Peace seems stellar. I'll consider Cast Out and Thorn. I think most of my deck is probably pretty good against their deck. I just think I kind of drew the wrong pieces this game. So these can probably go. Jailer is exile-based removal, which is nice. But it's not like it's the greatest. Cast Out's probably too much mana. I probably just like ignore Goblin Bombardment or just plan on stopping with Suppression Field. And I just have to decide whether or not like this Thorn is worth it. The thing that is really messing me up is actually my opponent casting creatures, not necessarily non-creature spells. So maybe I shouldn't play Thorn, and then I should just trim a little bit of my top end. But Thorn does hit their enablers like Faithless Looting and Cabal Therapy, and like hits the Thoughtseize. So I'm not 100% sure. So like the question is going to be like, is Thorn better than like my enlistment officers and one palace jailer? It's probably close. Maybe on the play, Thorn's worth it. On the draw, Thorn's not worth it. I'm going to play without him. This hand's medium. Like, Chalice on 1 is really good against them, so I think I'm going to keep it since I can do that on turn 2. And if my opponent Thoughtseizes me, I still do get a Thalia. But it's possible that just, like, mulling to a Suppression Field or a Rest in Peace is just better. I expect this one to name Rest in Peace. Interesting. Yeah, this stings a bit. I mean, this is kind of the power of Cabal Therapy still, right? Like, even though Gataxian Probe is banned and, like, easy mode for Cabal Therapy is gone, just, like, a good, educated guess about the opponent's hand on turn 1, followed by, you know, something powerful, like a recursive threat, really can pave the way for some broken things. Alright, I am now on the defensive, unfortunately. So this doesn't really accomplish anything. The Carrion Feeder just sacks the one that it blocks and becomes big. So blocking the Carrion Feeder doesn't really accomplish anything, which is my big problem, and it sets me behind on board. That's not where I want to be. So I have a choice this turn. I can either Chrome Mox one of my 2 War Chiefs in order to 100% cast Preeminent Captain next turn, or I can just Chrome Mox my Preeminent Captain in hopes of drawing a land so that I can start playing out War Chiefs. Multiple War Chiefs can make it so that I have a very impressive amount of power. Either way, I'm playing a Chrome Mox this turn. I need to answer the Carrion Feeder. The rest of their board does not matter. So I guess I'm hoping for like a Palace Jailer, a Warden, a Suppression Field even would be fine. I'm going to put a War Chief under there. I don't think double War Chief alone will get there. If I get to play out the Preeminent Captain because I miss a land drop, I might be able to do something silly involving chaining together threats. Do the same thing as previously. The Lingering Soul producing flyers is a little problematic. So if I play the War Chief, I can block both Grave Crawlers or like chump Carrion Feeder plus a Grave Crawler with Thalia. The issue is that if I play the War Chief this turn, I'm in trouble via Preeminent Captain. Can I try to go for lethal next turn? So I can hit them to 12. Then I can play Preeminent Captain. My opponent has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on board. Or if I attack in, they can replay Gravecrawler 5 times, make that a 9, 9, 10. No, I can't attack this turn. I'm gonna have to chump. I would imagine that if we played this matchup 10 times, I would come out ahead more often than the Bombardment deck. But, like, I didn't have a Suppression Field draw either one of these times, which would have been insane. My opponent blind hit the Chalice this turn, which is what this game, which is why I kept the hand. In Game 1, things didn't quite work out, but were very close to working out. I'm not too concerned about losing this one. Well, Chalice stops, like, looting, Carrion Feeder, Gravecrawler, Thoughtseize, Cabal Therapy. It's a huge proportion of the deck, and a meaningful portion of the recursive part as well. So, like, keeping a hand based on a Chalice is probably fine. So it's currently 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's currently 10 damage. I can just take this, and if my opponent doesn't have Goblin Bombardment, I can potentially win. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's... No. I am at 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can't count. Sorry, I was looking at the 3 on the Carrion Feeder. It's counters. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I can block. My opponent can sack both of those. Then this becomes 6, 7, 8. That's still enough to make me not be able to use the Ancient Tomb. But that's probably okay. In what world do I win? So I currently have 2, 4, 6 damage on board. What if I draw another Daru War Chief? If I draw a second Daru War Chief and I play that pre-combat, and then I just have Preeminent Captain, and I attack him with both of those, that's not 14. So I'll just take the 2 easy blocks, and I guess I need to draw something like Fairgrounds Warden. But my opponent is probably going to flashback Lingering Souls. And then they produce blockers, and I'm in all sorts of trouble. Womp womp. We'll move on to the next one. That's fine. This hand is very good. It's also very flexible. Red prison, you say? Your chalice on 1 resolves. Okay. So my Chalice of the Void doesn't really do anything right now. Suppression Field is good against Planeswalkers. If I want to make a turn 1 play, I have to... pitch one of my white cards. I probably need this Enlistment Officer to regas. My hand isn't amazing right now. So I need to like make a choice of whether I want to play like a turn 1 Thalia and pitch Suppression Field, or whether I want to do a turn 1 Suppression Field in case my opponent goes like Ancient Tomb Chandra. I can also just like play my Enlistment Officer under Chrome Mox and just accept that the game will go long and I will draw into something else that can let me regas. Like, I'm playing this Plains this turn, that's for sure. Like, I want to play one of these 2/2-drops this turn, I think, so that I can do Enlistment Officer on turn 2. I think Thalia is more impactful in the matchup. Thalia will also delay a Chandra by a turn. This also will, like, if I play out this... Ooh, God, that's so sexy. Oh no, it would just be the Planeswalkers. They don't run Lotus Petal, Static Grip. Hello, opponent. Would you like to fire a Confluence my board? I really won't care if you do. How do I want to sequence this turn? Like, I'm going to kill the Chandra. And then I have 1, 2, 3. Then I have 5 mana. I probably can't do 2 things. I'll probably just play an Enlistment Officer. I don't think I have any need to do that pre-combat, though. That was a 5 mana Flame Flash, yes. Do I have another 2 mana creature? No. Okay. So tapping this way is fine. No soldier cards! What a rip. Since I'm the Monarch, I really just want to keep producing mana, because at some point my board is probably getting wiped, and I really just like to keep drawing cards off of my Monarch and Enlistment Officers and continually deploy things. Alright. Congratulations, you have a Duder. So I kind of want to attack in with everything. Let my opponent probably block Thalia. And then take 4. Go to 4, and then I deploy an Enlistment Officer and a Thalia afterwards. That sounds great. So in order to do this, I need to use my Cavern for small Thalia. Whew. We found a couple of cards. Hey, my deck did what I wanted it to do. I'm so good. Alright, so I probably want Cast Out to just answer Planeswalkers. I can consider Armageddon, it's probably pretty good. And Thorn of Amethyst is probably pretty good. Chalice of the Void's pretty terrible. That can come out. Then maybe I get rid of these. I mean, we can't expect everything to go perfectly, Basic Planes. This hand has 2 planes, which makes me really like it. Because there's no guarantee that my opponent is... Fuck, I should have just played Thorn there. Okay. So I can play Thalia Heretic Cathar this turn. If I do so, then the Goblin tokens start entering tapped. But I think I'd rather start taxing the Ensnaring Bridge. We'll see this game whether or not, like, not playing the Thorn on turn 2 comes back, or sorry, on turn 1 comes back to bite me. I didn't really think about it because I thought about just, like, curving Thalia into Thorn without taking any damage. Hmm. Alright, Thorn. Maybe I don't play Suppression Field this turn, and I play Daru Warchief this turn. Then next turn, I can play Suppression Field for 3 mana, still have 3, maybe 4 mana left over. I can't really just play Suppression Field this turn. I can't let this Rabble Master start clocking me. So I guess it's Thalia Heretic Cathar. Interesting that my opponent is playing Scab Clan Berserker. That does not seem particularly good against my deck. Like, I'm full of first strikers that are going to wall that. And my opponent wanted to play that on the draw. Okay. So do I want to Vomit Guys by playing, like, War Chief followed by Enlistment Officer? But that will make all my guys bigger, which makes them worse against the Ensnaring Bridge. Or do I just, like, want to play Enlistment Officer and try to find something, like, say, a Palace Jailer? I think I want to just play Enlistment Officer and dig deeper into my deck. At the same time, though, if I play the War Chief, then my board can never be Fiery Confluenced. So I have two cast outs. I'd have to get both cast outs in order to get bridge, or like really tax my opponent's mana. I can also find Armageddon to just make it so they can't activate Chandra. Yeah, maybe I should count on this game going very long. In which case, playing out this is probably wise. The other nice thing is that if I get a second Daru Warchief, not even Chandra can go and get through Daru Warchief. Oh wow, they just domed me with Fiery Confluence. Okay. There goes an Armageddon and a cast out. That's so unfortunate. I don't think I want to tap the Ancient Tomb again. But maybe I need to. Maybe I need to play Palace Jailer this turn to try to dig into something else. Like, this will put me dead to a Confluence. But I'm already dead to that. Takes one turn off my, like, natural Chandra clock. Well, I'm casting both that turn. Do I play Selfless Squire just to, like, absorb Fiery Confluence? Is that insane? That's probably insane, because most of the time I'm tapping out, it looks like. But that's super cute. I wonder if I lost that one because I didn't play Thorn on turn 1. I'll keep this. This has the right pieces of the puzzle to work. I can't do anything on turn 1, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't have, like, any real acceleration. But that's okay. I hope my opponent just, like, plays another mountain and passes. I would love for, like, Thalia Heretic Cathar to absorb something like that. If I play Thorn this turn, then my Armageddon is going to cost 6. Kind of want to be able to cast my Armageddon on 5 instead. I'm going to play the Thalia Heretic Cathar here, and then follow up with the Thorn next turn if I don't draw a land that lets me cast my other cards. I'm expecting something like a Sulfur Elemental right here to just make me super sad. A Braid. Good thing we've got a backup one of those. Alright, so I'm going to play Chrome Mox in order to get my second white. So that does that. Oh, well, the Magus is gone now, I guess. So I guess I do have my second white. I kind of want to play the Chrome Mox anyway, because, like, Armageddon will be game over. So I think I'm going to play Armageddon, imprint the War Chief. Make my opponent have, like, land and Confluence. Confluence would be great, because it can deal 2 and blow up my Thorn. Yup. Oh no, taking my mana source there. And now next turn I can probably pretty safely Armageddon. So I kind of want to wait one more turn to cast the Armageddon, just to be safe. Because with the Chandra, my opponent still, like, can produce 3 mana. Oh, I guess I can attack the Chandra this turn. I can attack the Chandra with Palace Jailer. My opponent will trade their Scabclan Berserker for it. That gets their creature off the board. And then I can also play my Thalia. Good God, what does my opponent need to add mana for? Give us like a second Kozilek's Return or an Abrade or something to get rid of it? No? Or are you just going to try to like take the Monarch from me with something with haste? Yep. Yeah, but you went down to 1 card in hand to do that, buddy. Ooh! So what is my opponent going to do if I, like, play Thalia and then tap out? Actually, if my opponent gets the Monarch status, I can, like, trap them under their own Ensnaring Bridge pretty easily. So it might be good to, like, play Thalia Heretic Cathar, play Thorn. If my opponent expends their Chandra to Flame Slash Thalia, they can attack him with Scabclan Berserker and get the crown. I don't think they'll do that, though. They might. I could just, like, play Thalia Heretic Cathar and pass the turn. No, I guess if they want to, like, Flame Slash this, and they do that, and I bounce it, like I still have a Thalia Heretic Athar, but they can take the Monarch anyway. Yeah, so let's just do this. Oh, wow. I don't think I can win if I get in them now. If I get in them now, I can't cast out the Chandra, and that kills me in 2 turns. I think I'm losing this one to my own Thorns. Maybe I shouldn't have, like, sideboarded these Thorns. Alright. So what would I have done if I didn't bring in the Thorns? So I think I brought in Geddon's, Cast House, and Thorns. I could have just gone, like, Chalices out for those 4. I guess that's what I should do if I play this matchup again. Like, I just tripped over my own Thorns. Like, Cast Out and Armageddon were some of the most important cards for me. Huh. Like, conceptually, I really like Thorn against that deck. Like, you can price them out of casting the Confluences and Chandras that the deck is built around. Ah. The usual weekly match against Chat Regular. I will keep a hand that can produce a turn 1 suppression field. It's probably pretty good against my opponent. Our opponent is a gentleman. We have nothing to worry about there. Suppression field, pretty good against D&T. These legendary creatures, less so. Our opponent alternates between playing various Stoneforge Mystic decks. So it's usually been like D&T and Maverick and Stoneblade type decks. Usually not blue, though. So maybe Stoneblade was a bad example. Do I want to offer a trade of Thalias, or do I just want to, like, hold the ground with my Thalia? I think I want to hold the ground with my Thalia. I'm stuck on mana, so no need to try to get aggressive. Yeah, so like the thing about Caracas is that like yes, it's good against my hand, but suppression field means it would be 3 mana to bounce a creature. Not the best. Alright, that's not bad. This feels so bad. I think I need to put the Palace Jailer under here. My opponent has a flyer already and is likely to deploy another creature or two in the next few turns, so I think since I'm so behind on board, I'm not going to be able to, like, Jailer and hold the crown. So I'm going to go ahead and dump that. Is this going to be the 4-mana Rishadenport turn? No. Fuck. Now, since I have a different first striker, I'm fine with attacking in with Athalia. Somewhat surprised that my opponent trades. Hopefully that doesn't mean they have just, like, natural Batterskull in hand or something. Flicker Wisp is a good Magic card, everyone. Were you aware? I'm pretty dead here. I'll likely concede after my next draw step. I don't really know what gets me out of this now. Alright, so Blessed Alliance seems fine, and these are cards that I'd also consider. Let's figure out what's bad. Chalice is pretty bad, and Thalia is not great. I mean, the in-out numbers work if I do that. The Selfless Squire is probably a little bit ambitious. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should keep some Thalias just to hold the ground early. So overall, this is a very good matchup for Soldier Stompy, because your creatures get bigger, you have Suppression Field to invalidate the best portions of D&T. So this hand goes land, go, Chrome Mox, imprint something, play Militia Bugler on turn 2, followed by turn 3 War Chief or Jailer. Turn 3 Jailer might be pretty good. I'd really prefer a Suppression Field hand, but you can't always have it all. There's also a chance that my opponent just like boards out Ether Vial because it's so bad against Suppression Field. Like, that would not surprise me at all. So this will be the first time that I actually cast this card. So we'll see if it just like whiffs and I'm sad. I can also just cast this turn and imprint this guy, which I think I like better. Like, if my opponent doesn't have another basic, this can be cripplingly good. Ooh, man. Land, 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 land. Wouldn't be surprised if this just goes gets a Phyrexian Revoker to revoke Chrome Mox. You could also just get like Flicker Wisp to Flicker Wisp Chrome Mox. But revoking it might just be better. Okay, Relic Warder. Same overall goal. Hey, 34th is pretty good for a big event. Ooh. I don't know that I like that play more than just, like, Relic Ordering the Mox. So I guess I Fairgrounds Warden this and crash in. Playing this doesn't really accomplish much. Playing this keeps me from getting hit with Sword of War and Peace right now. Fairgrounds Warden only hits creatures, it can't hit the sword. My opponent probably plays their cat, takes out my Chrome Mox, and then equips Sword this turn. And then the following turn, they're going to get to, like, take their Recruiter back. Okay. Interesting. I'm such a bully. My opponent exiled my graveyard to send a message. Alright, my opponent's just gonna port me. I'd love to draw a frickin' soul land so badly. I wonder if I'm gonna like do anything this league. This one's not going well. I even added an extra land to the deck. Interesting. I don't know what else my opponent has. But it's very possible that just, like, voting for Fairgrounds Warden, getting Recruiter of the Guard, Recruiter for Revoker, Revoker, Chrome Mox, and then equipping is pretty beastly. But this is the same thing. Blessed Alliance. Armageddon. Well, the good news is I'm not dead yet. The bad news is I have 7 cards in hand and I can't cast any of them. And I'm about to take 11 damage from Sword of War and Peace, and my opponent's going to gain 4. So that's no good. I'm also just going to get ported next. This is fine. This is fine, right? Just represent the Blessed Alliance, you know. I want to let my opponent do this. This is a lot of damage. And they stack the Sword of Fire and Ice trigger, so they draw the card first, so they gain extra life. Good stuff. There we go. Alright, we are an impressive 0-3 with Soldier Stompy. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and then we're going to play 2 more rounds, and we're going to see if we can get some wins with this. And this is going quickly, and I'm doing terribly, so maybe I'll play some D&T afterwards as well. Alright, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. Today is a bonus stream for hitting 1,100 followers. I am now replacing my chair, who is currently holding down the stream while I ran to the bathroom. We're playing Soldier Stompy today. It is not particularly going very well. In the last couple of days, I played a little bit of Eldrazi, and my last few streams haven't gone well, just generally speaking. So I don't know if, like, Eldrazi was super well positioned for a couple of days, and now less so. People are adapting. I don't know what's going on there. But I started out with, like, going 12-3 with Eldrazi, and then I went, like, 4-6 last night. And, like, didn't cash 2 leagues in a row, which was super weird. But we'll see if we can redeem the soldiers here. Yeah, so I set some follower goals prior to Deathrite Shaman getting banned, and I figured I should probably change those now. So I figured, like, Goblins would be a good one to do, and some sort of, like, 4-color Loam or Maverick deck would be good. I don't know what I'm going to do the top two yet. I think we're going to play against D&T, guys. Call it a hunch. So I'm on the draw versus D&T. I can produce a turn 1 Thalia Heretic Cathar. If I draw a land, I can, like, turn 2 Palace Jailer. So I'll keep this. Ooh, or do I just want to play turn 1 Preeminent Captain? Then that can put in a Palace Jailer. Or any number of these other cards. If my opponent doesn't have, like, a turn 2 creature with 2 or more power, that's actually really good. I should probably imprint the second Jailer. Rats. My Caracas is pretty annoying. So Fairgrounds Warden doesn't do anything this turn. So I guess I'll play my weird cantripping idiot. What's that Ripple guy from Cold Snap? Surging Sentinel? I feel like I'm playing Surging Sentinels with this guy. I think my opponent has Batter Skull. If my opponent doesn't have Batter Skull, I can just like attack in with the Bugler and just like get 2 free points of damage. And then if my opponent does protect with Mom, I can Fairgrounds Warden something away. They have Batter Skull. This guy's not doing much anyway. Opponent is wise to my game. Alright, well I haven't missed with that card yet, so that's nice. I'm really unsure why my opponent wouldn't put in the Batter Skull to block the 2-3. They maybe just don't know my deck at all. So I could double block the Batter Skull here and make my opponent use the Mom, but then I can't actually cast anything. Yeah, so no blocks, and then I'm going to concede if I don't hit a land. Basic planes, we ignore math here. Alright, so Blessed Alliance seems fine. Cast Out seems fine, and those were my maybes. What did we do before? I think we pulled Chalices and pulled 2 Thalias, and then I decided the Selfless Squires were too cute. And so I cut them. How do I keep getting all these mana light hands? So I can play turn 1 Suppression Field, turn 2 Thalia, imprint the Enlistment Officer that I can't cast yet, but then I likely just like miss land drops and die. Like this stops the Ether Vial if they have it, but I think I would just lose to like regular old creatures being played out. I think I need to mulligan this hand. Play the card with the highest upside if it doesn't just get Swords to Plowshared. Feels like it's getting Swords to Plowshared. Oh man, Path to Exile. Deal. Deal. Please just play a 2-drop that I can Palace Jailer. That would make me so happy. Not a fucking wasteland. Ugh. Suppression Field. Suppression Field. Not Suppression Field. think I just need to cycle this, try to hit a land drop. Well, I can overload my opponent on Thalia's. Yeah, oh kid, it's not going well. Don't look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard doesn't matter. A Sarah Avenger off of Vial would be rough, but most lists aren't playing those right now, so let's just not even think about that possibility. Oh man, no 2-drops from my opponent at all. That means their hand is just full of Flicker Wisps, though, and I'm going to be real sad. That's bad. Opponent could have, like, bounced the Thalia prior to that for some value. I'm going to attack in with this. If it dies, I actually don't care, because it's just going to get bounced forever anyway. And if I get the chance to, like, Palace Jail or a Brightling or something like that, that'd be stellar. So I can bounce my own Thalia here. And then Palace Jailer Brightling to force my opponent to bounce it. And I can start drawing some cards, and then I can try to use like a combination of like Thalia Heretic Athar and Fairgrounds Warden to wiggle through this. It is going. That is probably the best way to put it. I mean, Brightling basically always looks great. The card's insane. There are so many haters of the cards, but then when you talk to people about, like, well, why do you dislike it? Well, it's really expensive, so I don't want to buy it. So that's not a reason why a card isn't good. We're going to try to remove his Stoneforge, but it's probably just going to get Flicker Wisped. Don't think I want to attack into the Brightling that I already know about. I'm just going to intend on, like, using Blessed Alliance as a Time Walk. My Kingdom for a Suppression Field. Twisted, if you would like to contribute to the chat, contribute something meaningful. You can try again in 10 minutes. Uzalas, I'm glad that you're enjoying my content. I'm doing the best I can. There's going to be some interesting stuff this week. Notably, there will be some, what was it? Bug cloud post on Friday morning. So that should be pretty interesting. I got a donation deck list for that. Am I willing to take the 2 damage for flexibility here? I think I am. I don't think my life total matters. I think answering the Brightling somehow matters. Yeah, my week is next week. So I'll be both playing and doing commentary next week. Alright, the War Chief really isn't bad there. It'll kind of keep my stuff out of, like, Brightling pump range. And it'll also let me start, like, deploying multiple of these cards. I really just don't want my opponent to have Sword of War and Peace. Sword of War and Peace would be, like, super crippling here. Fuck. Sifali, the Legacy Premier League will be on at, I believe it is 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This should be Vigilance here. Yep. Oh my god, my opponent just clicked through attacks. Oh god. So you're telling me there's a chance. So that would have been 5 +7. That would have been 12 damage. That was lethal. My opponent missed lethal on board. And they say MTGO is hard. To my opponent's credit, they have not played very many games at all on Moto. All right. So, okay. So I can play Thalia Heretic Cathar. And then I can... Oh, no, I can't Fairgrounds Warden Brightling it as the sword. Okay, that plan doesn't work. Can I present lethal through Brightling with lifelink? I need to do 20 points of damage this turn. And with double Daru Warchief, that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's 12 points of damage. Not getting there that way. So I need to draw into something like Blessed Alliance. So I'm going to make my board as good as I can and leave up 2 mana for Blessed Alliance. So I need to leave up one of these Ancient Tombs and the Plains, so I can't play another double white card. I can play a single white card like Thalia Heretic Cathar and make my opponent bounce it if they want. Ooh, Cast Out. Okay. Cast Out is a reason to leave up 4. That's fair. All right, we're dead now. Okay, I could have played the out of them skipping through their tap step again. that is accurate. All right, we are an impressive 0-4 with this deck. It's been a while since I've done this poorly. Can we redeem ourselves? We have managed to win 1 game so far with this Soldier Stompy deck. Now it's a bonus stream. I gotta play them all. It's the rules. It's how these things work. And then I'll play a little bit of D&T. Yeah, my data is very positive with Brightling right now. I don't know how recent this is. This was a screenshot of my graph from a day or so ago. But I think I'm sitting at about 68% win percentage with it right now. It's going quite well. Miracles is seeming a little tricky. Like, the Brightlings help a lot. But just the matchup's so much harder than it used to be. Like, Revoker not being a reasonable 2-drop against that deck is rough. So, Do I want to talk about this now? Yeah. So in the deck list that I'm running, I'm kind of like heavy on creatures in the sideboard to kind of like transform into the proper like creature threat based build. But it's very possible that like if Miracles is just going to be one of the top dogs of the format, that I need to like fit the Cataclysms back into this deck list. Hey, we're playing Gobbo Hunter. He's been in the chat a handful of times. I can never get enough mana with this hand. With this deck. I'm going to mulligan this one. Like, if my opponent is playing Goblins, like I suspect, this hand does nothing against them. That Chrome Mox is fine. That means I can... That means I can... play Suppression Field on 1. Exiling Thal... Yeah, I'm going to put this on top. Not Goblins. Oh, please don't be Elves. Not like this. Fuck. So I'm going to play Suppression Field on 1 to just, like, completely invalidate, like, fetches and some of their Wirewood shenanigans. Then we'll play Thalia Heretic Cathar. It's possible that playing THC on 1 is better. The 05 Dream is alive. Those will last. Remind me after this game, and I'm happy to throw it up again. Oh man, the glimpse is just cycling. The glimpse is just cycling, chat. Everything's fine. This Dryad Arbor is going to enter doubly tapped. Once because it's a creature, and once because it's a non-basic land. Okay, what could I hit off the Bugler that I care about? I don't really know. Zardian, the game count does not look good. So I think I'm going to play the Captain this turn, in the hopes of, like, going ham next turn, and stringing a few things together. No one has ever claimed this was a good deck. Oh, that's bad. Bye, Suppression Field. If my opponent doesn't have a payoff card, I'm not actually all that bad off. Like, if they don't have, like, a Natural Order or a Hoof or a Ren's Run Packmaster or something like that, Like, I'm not in that bad of a position. Alright, so let's play this, try to cantrip into something that I can put in with Captain. Putting in a War Chief sounds great. My opponent didn't even, like, think about, like, Dryad Arbor block bounce there, so that might just mean I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, look at how much better it was than Ponder. I didn't even need to cast that card. It just kind of happened. Just, like, flooped it into play. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Smells like natural order. Crater Hoof. Am I dead? I might not be dead. Because the Crater Hoof is going to enter tapped. Hold on. Let me math. I think that's a dead. No blocks. I don't think I'm prepared for this matchup, chat. I can play Selfless Squire and turn it into a massive creature if my opponent natural orders. I don't think I want, like, any of these cards. This is, Yeah, sure, I can throw the graph up for a second. If you would just screenshot that if you'd like that. I don't want to leave it up for very long. Alright, I think I want to mold it like a Chalice on one. I think I want to mull until I can either, like, play a Chalice or a turn 1 Suppression Field. I just don't think, like, turn 2 Suppression Field, turn 3 Preeminent Captain, turn 4 Bugler into, like, put War Chief off is, like, going to be fast enough. Thalia Heretic Cathar is really good. I'll reluctantly keep this. Is the War Chief better than another random card? I can go turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 War Chief. It's not what I want. I'm going to send that to the bottom. I was going to say, like, my god, if my opponent just thought seizes me. Yuck. I probably need to play this Thalia now to just, like, decrease the chance of my opponent going off through Glimpse or just natural ordering me here. Alright, so that's Decay my Thalia. So we'll play the Captain this turn, maybe try to do something resembling Broken next turn. Slow Death it is. So this is the best combo in the Elves deck. Wirewood Symbiote plus Elvish Visionary. My opponent can tap this for 4 mana. You know, bounce the Wirewood, untap Dryad Arbor, replay Visionary, and herpa-derpa-derp from there. Opponent should have tapped Cradle before that, unless they can play multiple creatures prior to. Yeah, so my opponent. Or no, I guess it's the same. So what has to go right for me to win this? I can, like, Militia Bugler into Thalia Heretic Cathar. Or, like, get multiple Daru War Chiefs, get super aggressive. Probably not. So since I don't know exactly what's going to happen, I'm going to take 2 with my Ancient Tomb. It's possible I might get some wonderful card to put in. Bugler still has not missed, so it's got that going for it. I just want my opponent to, like, cast a Natural Order and kill me. Yeah, the 1 in 10 is rough. This deck just, like, did not fire on anything that resembled a cylinder during this stream. Please just have Hoof. Please just have Hoof. Okay, we can concede. Well, that was a disaster. Let's play some D&T. Gobbo Hunter, we didn't do anything on this side of the battlefield that game. That was rough. All right, so chat, give me just a second. I'm gonna update my stream title. Oop. Let's update that. Pull up my data. Okay, that's fair. Not knowing what's going on with Soldier Stompy is not surprising. It is not a popular deck. And JD, thank you for those bits. Let's battle with some D&T. I'm not going to take time to change the deck list below the stream. I'm just going to hop into some games. How do I still have play points? I'm so surprised. I've bombed out of 3 leagues in a row. Yeah, I was running Chalice. I just didn't see one. Well, it would be very hard to do worse than that. I don't know that I have ever, like, went 1-10 in games with D&T in any event ever. So, the new low is pretty low. So Gabo Hunter, just to show you the list real quick. Oh no. I hope I didn't just go into another league with Soldier Stompy by clicking that button. Thank God. I will also mulligan. This is a keep. It's not a good keep. It goes to the bottom. I think my opponent's a Rug Delver player. So if this Vial resolves, I'm in awesome shape. If this Vial doesn't resolve, I'm not in good shape. Plains is great. And Vial resolving is great. So I kind of want to Wasteland, but I don't really want to expose myself to Stifle. So that probably just means I should port my opponent this turn. I don't have anything else to do with my mana. And W. Robinson, that's a good run. Well done. I don't think I could handle another Soldier Stompy league right now. So what I'm betting is going to happen is end of turn, I'm going to put in this Mom, and it's going to get lightning bolted, and then I can actually waste my opponent. Ooh, so I can waste my opponent here, or I can play both Thalia and Stoneforge and just, like, really accelerate out an aggressive game plan. I did see that article. I have not been a fan of the D&T content on the salt mine. I don't want to go into the reasons why I don't like the content there, but that's a discussion for another time. So if I play both Thalia and Stoneforge this turn, I can tick my Vial up to 3 on the next turn, and then, like, Recruiter for a Crusader, or Recruiter for a Flicker Wisp, or, like, use Brightling as an Ambush Viper. And I can do all of it without playing into counter magic at all, which I think I like. So this forces my opponent to have a Lightning Bolt naturally in hand right now in order to answer the Stoneforge Mystic, or I get Batterskull. I guess it also could be Stifle. Okay, they have it. So I can use Vial, put in Recruiter, get Stoneforge, play Stoneforge around Daze, fetch Jitte, then waste Trop. Or waste Valk, it doesn't matter. And do I want to attack? I think I want to attack. Yeah, you all can say whatever you want to say about the content. I don't want to say anything on stream. I don't really care if my opponent has another red removal spell. I think I'm going to take them off of Trop and make him fetch another Trop. What's the Pittsburgh tournament? Is that Eternal Weekend? Eternal Extravaganza? This is the point where the opponent decides how scared of Mirran Crusader they are. I'll take that 3. Surprise, it's everyone's new best friend, Brightling. I will very, very likely be worth... Sorry, it will be likely worth my time to go to EW. EW is really fun. Hey, look at that. I played a Brightling, and my opponent conceded within a turn cycle. The card's probably bad. Alright. So I want Paths. I want Rest in Peace. I want the other Brightling. I don't want Revoker. I don't want Recruiter. And then I trim one other thing. I think I usually trim a Flicker Wisp. If my opponent gives me reason to board in Council's Judgment, like I see that they're playing a bunch of True Names, I will board that in. But I'm not super thrilled against playing Council's Judgment against Rug right now, because people keep keeping Spell Pierce in against me for post-sideboard games, which I'm really confused about. But because they keep doing it, my Council's Judgment is worse. There's a difference between Thinly Veiled Shade and me, you know, going on record in a nice video clip that can be passed around, you know, crapping on someone. Big difference. I'm a professional. Yeah, I have always had a blast at EW. Some of the individual EWs have been better than others, but like you get to play so much Magic. I'm fine with just doing this right now. No need to get cute. Yeah, 11 rounds of Legacy in a day is super fun, but also, like, my god, it is taxing. Oh wow, my mom just lived when my opponent has 3 cards in hand. That must mean they have, like, a bunch of counter spells. So I probably don't want to just, like, play off this Flicker Wisp this turn. I'll probably just port them. Yeah, 100% not joking about like the generic tournament prep advice of like really make sure that you are ready to go with like food, water, snacks, especially when you play in something that is like actually that big and that long. It matters. At this point, I'd love to just like draw more lands. Okay, so what do I want to do? I'll probably just attack with Brightling. I don't really need to give it Vigilance. I'll like pump once and give Lifelink, and then I can use Flicker Wisp or Brightling as need be. Sudden Shock would be real good here. DNT 24, there is not an updated rug guide. Sifali donated for me to do a matchup primer of my choice, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do Rug Delver with that. The Rug Delver matchup and Grixis Delver matchups are conceptually pretty different. Like, the same general game plans are okay, but it's a very different threat base, and they're not trying to go wider than you a lot of the times, they're just trying to go bigger than you. I don't really know what the Rug Delver player should be doing as far as sideboarding goes. It's my opinion that like the matches Rug Delver wins are the matchups where they go like creature, like Delver into Tarmogoyf, and the Delver naturally flips, or go like Delver, second Delver, Ponder, set up double Delver flips. those are the matchups where they win. Most of the ones where you try to do the whole like nimble mongoose, like get you slowly over time, just don't work. Kind of like what we saw there. And that's kind of what confuses me about like the Spell Pierce post board is like you don't want to be holding up Spell Pierce. You want to tap out for creatures and like pray to God it works and just like use Force and Daze to like kind of get there. Well, Nikos, not all the Rogue Delver lists even play True Name Nemesis, so that's another thing to keep in mind. I'm pretty sure my opponent plays Ant, so I'm going to mulligan this one, even though it would be a great hand in the dark. I'll keep this. It's not good. That goes to the bottom. Ugh. Nikos, not all of them even have it in the sideboard. Oh man, stunning. A manga shop / local game store? That's pretty sweet. So I still believe this is Storm. Because something like Infect doesn't play Preordain. Alright. So let's name LED and see if we get there. N.W. Robinson, that's useful to me. Just going to paste that somewhere so I remember that. Thank you. Alright, so there's the mana that makes me think it is indeed Storm. Oh, goodbye, Batterskull. Good thing we got this Flicker Wisp here to find another sweet piece of equipment. I mean, that's the story of Game 1 versus Storm. I just need the Thalia. I would accept Spirit of the Labyrinth as well. That land's pretty acceptable because that means I can get Sword of War and Peace, or sorry, Sword of Fire and Ice here, and like have the mana to equip it next turn. That's not irrelevant. Like the more pressure I can put on my opponent's life total, the better chance I have of actually like preventing them from an ad nauseum kill. So next turn I can hit for 9. Well, Stun, like the metagame has entirely shifted, and I think it's very easy to reevaluate Spirit of the Labyrinth in the new metagame now. Like, with fewer copies of Young Pyromancer and Delver of Secrets running around, I'm pretty happy playing it. Is there 2 in the board for this list, or did I move 1 to the main deck? I've played around with a lot of things. Yeah, one in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. Like, one of the things I've liked about Spirit of the Labyrinth is that it trades with Nimble Mongoose. Like, either early on or when it has Threshold. Alright, so my opponent will have 5 mana. Is this just going to be an Adnos? Or are we at the point where Tutor Chains can kill me? Past in Flames, that should do it. So then it's Cabal Writ, into Dark Writ, into Dark Petition, into Tendrils. And Storm Count will be high enough where going up to 23 doesn't matter. My sample size is very small after switching back to 23 lands. Alright, so we're playing against Ant. Loss. So game 1, opponent goes off through Revoker. Alright. So I want Surgical, Rip Spirit. We'll consider the cat. The cat's not the greatest. Probably want these and this. We'll consider Sword. Sword's not the greatest. So I don't want Swords to Plowshares. I don't want Jitte. I don't want Sword of Fire and Ice. I'll probably go down to 1 Flicker Wisp. I usually keep 1 in the deck just so that I can Flicker Wisp Chain if I need to. And then I need to make 1 other cut or trim. The Relic Warrior is not great against, like, the regular portion of the deck, but having it in to hedge against Dread of Night is not the worst. And that's kind of why I don't want to cut Brightling, is it's still something that can live through Dread of Night. NW Robinson, we're down a game versus Ant. I put Revoker on LED, and they went off anyway a turn or 2 later. I couldn't provide enough pressure. What Aethersworn Canonists? There are none here. This is not a good hand. Surgical's not strong enough disruption to make the hand keepable. How do I feel about a 3rd Thalia? I don't think I want the 3rd Thalia. That's excessive. I'll be super sad if my opponent, like, blind Cabal Therapy's Thalia on 1. But I think I need to, like, not keep it, because if it's not Cabal Therapy for Thalia on turn 1, then I really, really don't want to have the Thalia in my hand. Punished with the specific line that I thought about before taking. At least I did get another piece of disruption. While my opponent ponders, I'm going to grab more water. I'm going to get prelate here in case my opponent has Dread of Night. I don't really want whatever threat I get to just, like, die. Because if my opponent gets a Dread of Night and I got, like, Thalia there, all three of my creatures would eat it and I'd have no pressure left. I mean, Cabal Therapy is still a very powerful card. And, like, Ant can still more or less continue to use it the way that it was using it before. Well, that's just nutty. So in game 1, you can name 4 and just win. In game 2, a lot of times there's sideboard cards that stop that from happening. So I'm just going to name 2. It'll stop the tutors, and it'll stop the rituals. It'll also stop things like Echoing Truth and Abrupt Decay. It is possible to win through this on 2, but it is very difficult. I have not seen a massacre in a very long time. I disagree. This is probably just going to be an ad nauseum, I'm guessing, for value. A Dark Petition. Well, that is insane. Top of the deck has been absolutely stacked against my opponent here. It's blue. Alright, would you really want to expose your win condition? Because I don't. Opponents can play weird things at different converted mana costs. I don't want to take that risk. Like, all it takes there is someone playing, like, a Fatal Push to, like, completely hose me. So now that I know about Dread of Night, assuming I win this one, I'll probably bring in the Council's Judgments for Game 3. I'm willing to give up a pedal to preordain there. And that was bottom with that. I think I'm okay with giving my opponent one more mana on this next turn in order to, like, turn my 8-turn clock into a 3-turn clock. That seems like a good trade. Great. So the nice thing about this is that even if my opponent pushes the prelate, I still do have lethal with the Mirren Crusader on the following turn. So my opponent would need something like either just like go off through this, or like second Dread of Night would be pretty crippling. Yeah, Goblin Hunter, like the metagame's really wide open right now, so you'll see all sorts of things. Alright. So we win that one. So game 2, win through Dread of Night. So now I probably want to consider bringing these in. What do I want to change knowing that my opponent has Dread of Night? I'll probably board out the last Flicker Wisp. And I guess I could board out the Cleric. It's the least impactful of my 2-drops in many ways. Or I could trim one Mother of Runes if I think my opponent is going to lean on Dread of Nights. On the draw, I think I want to keep Stoneforge in case my opponent just makes a small amount of Goblins. Then I can beat that with Batterskull. Yeah, I'll keep this. I have a card that I can play on turn 1, a card that I can play on turn 2, and with another white source, I have a very good Hate Bear for 3. Yes, JD, you can have sideboarding notes. That's fine. You can refer to them in between games, but not during games. Thoughtseize me, have fun. And is super hateful. Probably has to take Thalia. So Kafagret, I don't know if it's size that actually matters. I think it is based on amount of time it takes you to use it more than anything else. My opponent took the prelate over Thalia. I think my opponent has Dread of Night in hand. I kind of want to check. I kind of want to use this Surgical Extraction and take out the Preordains, and just like see if they actually have Dread of Night. And if they have Dread of Night, I just play like Rest in Peace this turn. Hey, there's those Dread of Knights. So what's interesting in the main deck? Alright, so there's 2 Dread of Knights, 2 Chain of Vapors. I hate that when you look at their hand with Surgical, it doesn't put it into the revealed zone. Alright, so my opponent's pretty far away from actually going off. I could just, like, Wasteland them this turn, but that probably doesn't matter. I think I just want to, like, rest in peace this turn. I don't think they can reasonably go off next turn at all. So Volk was their draw 4 turn. JD, once you start playing a lot, it's very surprising, like, how easy that stuff becomes. Alright, so Thoughtseize is gone, 1 Brainstorm is gone. So now they can play that Dread of Night, and it will take them off of one of their turns, effectively. And that's fine with me. I like the cut of your jib, opponent. That's disgusting. This game is going to go long. I would love to draw, like, a Revoker to just, like, get a threat into play. Well, that's a start. This is not what you call good, yes. That doesn't make any sense to me. Opponent got a second Dread of Night. You should just, like, play the second Dread of Night, and then the Crusader doesn't actually do anything. Yeah. I guess they knew about it, so they just wanted to get rid of it, like, to do something with their Cabal Therapy. Alright, can I recruit... Okay, I can recruit her for a cat. And then I can play the cat and exile 1 Dread of Night permanently. The question is, do I want to do that or do I just want to Wasteland them? No, I think I want to do that. Boy, opponent, it'd sure be nice if you still had a... Alternatively, I can just get a Revoker and try to go all the way with a Revoker. I don't hate that either. I know my opponent has an LED, so if I revoke LED, That is pretty disgusting. My opponent has exactly 2 outs to a Revoker in their deck. I'm going to take the Revoker. Like, if they can't either go off or get rid of Revoker this turn, then I Wasteland their C, port them off Swamp, and revoke LED. And we're pretty much done. Whereas if I go and get the cat, like, I can unlock some of my deck, but I'm not actually getting closer to winning the game. Alright, it was irrelevant. Okay, do I want to save my lands and try to get to 5 mana to hardcast the Batterskull? Or do I just want to, like, waste them, port them, and keep them from going off? I don't think I'm prepared to Wasteland just yet. My opponent's still pretty darn resource light. And if I... if I do waste and port and I draw another Recruiter, I can't, like, play the Recruiter. No, I don't think I can Wasteland yet. If I tick this up to 3, I can put in a Brightling. But if I tick it up to 3, I can't put in a cat. So we'll leave this at 2. Alright, so now I'm 1 land away from just, like, playing a Batterskull. Well, that's not good enough yet. Well, that's annoying, but whatever. If my opponent is doing that, rather than, like, echoing truthing the rip, I'm okay with this. It probably means I still have time. Yeah, it's double Dread of Night, and I'm still not technically dead. This pause is bad for me. Alright, so that was Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Dark Petition. So it's 3, 6, 7, 8 mana, 9, 10, 11 mana. Can my opponent just go with 11? It's tutor to 9, tutor to 7, tutor to 5, kill, since I'm at 18. I think my opponent had a guaranteed kill since I'm at 18. Oh, no spell mastery. Okay, that's what I missed. Yep. Alright, my opponent was prepared for the matchup and won accordingly. That's fine. Alright, so game 3, lost to double Dread of Night. Yeah, I mean, he had a definite plan for winning the matchup, and he executed that plan. Like, makes sense. Now, my opponent seeing both copies of Dread of Night there made me a little bit strong, but so goes. Salve, quid august. So for anyone who doesn't know me here, hello, my name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, and I'm also a competitor in the Legacy Premier League. Today is Tuesday. So that means that's tomorrow night. The Legacy Premier League will be on at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on It's Julian. That's Julian Knob's channel. And you can also get all the details at his website, It's Julian. So I don't know what my opponent is playing, but I do have a relatively strong hand against a fair deck, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. The Old Wasteland Pass. The Old Wasteland Pass is not as good as the Old Wasteland Aether Vial, though. Seek. Alright, so it looks like we're probably playing against 4-color Loam. I'm going to Swords to Plowshares the Dryad Arbor this turn, and then hope that my opponent doesn't have life from the Loam. If they don't have life from the Loam, I can try to like wasteland them off this grove and play the Mana Denial plan against them. But if they have Loam this turn, I am in a lot of trouble. Okay, Bob's beatable right now. I'll go Optime. Ooh, man. No lands for my opponent. I can probably run away with this one very quickly if I draw a land for my turn and just flop Batterskull into play. Otherwise, I'll just like ride my Aether Vial value train for as long as I can. Drew it up perfectly. Okay, I can just like Flicker Wisp out my opponent's land and make it so they can't play any 2-drop at all. Or I can just like hold my Flicker Wisp and use it to reset my Vial in my opponent's second main phase so that I can then Vial in Mother of Runes. I like that a lot better. No, I don't play Fortnite. The only thing that I stream is Magic the Gathering. And my opponent just scoops it up there. Alright, so we're playing against 4-color Loam, and we win. So game 1, win via early mana denial. Lord Darkview, it's probably not wise to wait a turn there. Like forcing my, if my opponent just like plays a Thoughtseize and Thoughtseizes me, like I end up in the same spot. I don't know that that's actually good. Like it's an option, but is that good? I don't know. I shut off Cabal Therapy as an out. I'm still like just. I would need to look at like the actual mana situation there and figure out whether or not it's actually good. Alright, so these are cards that I'm thinking about. What's bad in the matchup? Thalia is not particularly great. Those can go out. Spirit of Labyrinth isn't good here. And I probably have too many sideboard cards, truth be told. So, what do I want to do? So I like these. I like these. Maybe the third one of these is too many. I 100% like those. 100% like this. These are the two maybe cards. So like Brightling has some upsides in this match in that like it doesn't die to Punishing Fire, but it gets walled by Knights pretty easily. Oh shoot, I don't have a lot of time to decide. Let's not bring in the Relic Order. Maybe I trim a Flicker Wisp, and then shoot. Only play one Council's Judgment on the draw. This is what happens when you switch lists all the time. It becomes way more difficult to sideboard. How landlight are you, opponent? How landlight are you? Because I would really love to just, like, play Vile on turn 1, followed by Rest in Peace on turn 2. And then, like, keep this for a card that actually matters. I have such a good, like, curve of, like, Vile into Rip into Recruiter if I draw a land. The Swords to Plowshares here legitimately might be a trap. I can't pass it up. So now I'll hope that my opponent plays something like Bob on this turn, that I can Swords to Plowshares. opponent's bad at drawing Mox Diamond. Fact. Play Bob. Loam for 3 lands. Alright, that's annoying. Alright, so that's double Verdant and Tranquil. Discard one of those lands back. Come on. Alright, so my opponent got some value out of their Loam. Alright, so they still have a Verdant and a Tranquil Thicket. I'm going to get rid of my Sword of War and Peace. I don't think I'm anywhere close to, like, actually using this effectively. Ooh, opponent had another Loam. So I can play Recruiter as Liliana fodder and also revoke Lily. And I can, like, Recruiter for Mirren Crusader or something like that. M Strong, if that is a serious offer, I would absolutely play some Fortnite for that price. My donation information is below the stream, and I would do so after I receive payment via PayPal. Alright, Containment Priest is not bad. I'm really surprised my opponent wanted that Mox Diamond over a random card. And my opponent just forgot to activate their Lily after emptying their hand. That's confusing. Oh, right. Sorry. This is what happens when I bounce back and forth, chat. Ignore me. So my opponent might have some fun things to tutor up with Knight, but like Knight's going to remain a 2/2, and I'm going to unlock my vial soon. I expect my opponent to like sack a land and go get a Maze of Ith here. No. So this makes me think that my opponent has Dark Depths combo in their deck, and that my opponent wants to go like Wasteland my Caracas, get Thespian Stage. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Nope, just Wasteland my Wasteland. Okay. So I could get a second Wasteland here, Wasteland my other Wasteland. And then future night activations. Okay, alright, so they naturally had Maze of Ith. That makes sense then. Now this can't get Punishing Fired. Do I want a Swords Containment Priest? Kind of. I don't really want my opponent to like keep tutoring with Knight, but they're probably out of good cards to get. Like, they can Wasteland me, but that's not that big of a deal. If I just get rid of this now, I can like send both these little idiots here. Yeah, that's probably worth it. Actually, maybe it's not. This Containment Priest isn't really doing anything now, and this Knight matters. So I can just send the Revoker here. I can send the Crusader here. Actually, I can send these little bodies both at Lily. So I'll send this at them. I'll send this at Lily. And Lily either dies or Containment Priest dies, and I don't lose another card. And then I can Swords this Knight. No, if they have Dark Depths shenanigans in their deck, then they would have had to deal with my Wastelands and Caracas first. Alright, so that's a win. So game 2 win via... Rest in peace, really. Like, there were other cards that mattered a lot, but Rest in Peace was really the defining card of that matchup. Ooh, I suspect that I have something very cool to show you all after this game. I think they play Sneak and Show. Oh, never mind. Grixis Control. Good information. I've played them previously on Sneak and Show, but it's been a little while. This is not a great hand, but like it has Vial and Mom and Port, so like I'm gonna keep it. I need to draw something to do with my Vial on 2, preferably. No, it's something other than that. Static Crypt, I would 100% do 5-color humans as a donation deck list. There's been a lot of excitement in like the 5-color humans chat on Facebook. I haven't paid too much attention to it. I've only checked in from time to time. But it seems like a good time to be meddling maging people. I had not considered Bugler in that shell yet. Didn't we 5-0 last time I played Slivers on stream? Alright, let's set my opponent up for like the best Toxic Deluge ever. That's a big fish. Doesn't feel like this is a dazed deck, so I think I can get away with doing this. Take that, Mr. Fish. You and your 8 cards in the exile zone. Alright. That's fair. That's pretty good. In before my opponent's last card is Culligan's Command, and they also draw land. God, I almost want to play that rather than equipping. Like, I kind of want to just, because my opponent's got to have a removal spell, right? So I kind of want to just, bash them for 4 and play Spirit of the Labyrinth. And try to make them use their removal spells on my creatures before I actually go for an equip. Play Oblivion Ring is the answer to that. I'd play some, consider playing some Spirit of the Labyrinth in your flex slots. So if my opponent just has Lightning Bolt for removal, they have to Lightning Bolt this so it doesn't get equipped. But then they don't. Then I can just equip the Flicker Wisp instead. They've had enough. Alright, so playing D&T, playing against Grixis Control, and we win. So game 1, win. Honestly, we probably just won by sourcing Gurmag Angler. My opponent went very all-in on that play, and it did not pan out for them. Alright, so I want Rest in Peace, I probably want Spirit. Probably play the Sword. Probably play most or all of those cards. Probably board out most or all of those. Probably don't want Revokers. Probably trim one of these. There's a real question as to like how my opponent's got to be on Baleful Strikes, right? Maybe I don't want to board that. Clark's probably medium. Maybe I just don't play third Brightling. How's that if I sort that? Probably pretty good. Be right back, chat. My opponent's mulliganed, and I have a 1-land Ether Vial hand. I'm in. This hand has some things going for it. Hitting a second land would make this hand considerably better. Because then I can, like, play Vial on 1, play Thalia on 2, and then, like, my opponent can't answer both Mom and Thalia. And then if that's the case, like, Stoneforge off Vial the following turn would be gross. So Rest in Peace is also very good. I might consider playing that over Thalia next turn if I draw a land. Eric, thank you very much for your continued support. Five months is a long time. Like, I really do appreciate that. The stream's coming a very long way. I'm very, very close to hitting Twitch partner status. I had a couple of low viewership streams in June when I kind of streamed at odd times. And those are coming off, and I've had a couple of good streams recently. So I think if my Thursday night stream I'm going to do has good viewership, I will hit Twitch partner with that. Twitch partner means I get some perks on Twitch's end. I'll start making a little bit more, and I get access to some new features, and I can, like, do new emotes for the channel and whatnot. So I'm going to play this Rest in Peace before my opponent can play a Gurmag Angler. No, I think partner is something that you hit and then you are a partner. No, but you can get more emotes. More than just one. That is a kick in the teeth. So how do I want to do this? I kind of want to play my Stoneforge, because that won't die to the Lily Plus, and then if my opponent cantrips, I get to get him with Spirit. The person who designed my Thalia emote is named Gail. She works for Star City Games. She works the booth a lot, so if you're a regular tournament grinder, you might know her without necessarily knowing her. Him happens. There goes that sword. But I still have the Batter Skull. Go on, cast a cantrip. Cast a cantrip for me, baby. One time. Come on. Don't even think I put in the Spirit. This seems like a very poor time to cast a Diabolic Edict. Oh, they don't know I have the Batter Skull. Yeah, just cantrip. Just cantrip for me. Yeah. So I'm not willing to trade the Spirit for 3 points of Liliana loyalty. Although I might have to next turn. I can't let this ultimate, I'll just die. Actually, maybe I'm not supposed to wasteland. I really need to leave myself the line of, like, draw recruiter. Oh no, Revoker's in the sideboard. It's been boarded out, so that's not a line. I might need my mana more than my opponent needs theirs. About the only thing I'd be keeping them off of is Jace. Yeah, Council Judgment is a great one. So this turn, if my opponent cantrips, I can't actually... shit. So I'm looking for, like, Flicker Wisp or Council's Judgment here. Should probably take this vial up to 3 for best uses of Flicker Wisp. Land does not do it, unfortunately. So now it's the big question will be, like, will my opponent tick up one more turn, or will they just take the emblem? Yeah. Okay. Mirran Crusader plus Batterskull Equip would do it. So the question now is, like, do I want to vial this in, or do I want to cast this? If I cast this, I expose it to Force. If I tap Vial, I expose it to K-Command, because my opponent could, like, blow up something and K-Command me. I think I'm going to vial it in. But I'll tap my vial on 2 first as the bait. Okay. That's interesting. Come on, land. Come on, land. Yes! It's happening. It's happening. I accept. Opponent is going, fuck, 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 edict, edict, please. Alright, they're not brainstorm locked. But they don't like what they're seeing. Okay. Alright, so I get one shot. Opponent is hellbent. I'm no mathematician. But is that good? Like losing a zombie and letting me gain the life? They're just dead right now. They're just dead right now. Straight up 100% dead. Oh, God. Someone's gonna need to clip this once I'm done doing this. Don't start yet, because, like, the clips only last, like, 30 seconds. This is a big moment. This is one of the first times that I've actually beaten the Lily emblem with D&T specifically. Whoa, why did I not get my step there? I am going to be so upset if I lose this game to my opponent's top deck. Oh, thank God. But I ruined the clip. I'm more upset about that than anything else. That's disappointing. Well, let's focus on the good there. I just beat a Lily emblem. Alright, so game 2, win with... I should say win through Lily last emblem with Crusader and Batterskull. The round 2 person was playing. This is round 4. Ant. We lost to Ant. We lost in game 3. All right, chat. So check this out. I have a new little piece of artwork for you. Way better than my little like blank screen with a countdown today that I had going on. I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's awesome. Gail does some great work. I'm really, really stoked about this. So I'm going to have one of these for a stream starting soon, and one of them for like a be right back with slightly different text. All right. Are any messages yet? I don't. All right, folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I'm starting to get pretty hungry, and I need to figure out something for dinner. So my next stream, personally, will be on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I would love, love, love to have many of you there. I'm getting real close to Twitch partner status. But as far as tomorrow goes, you should watch the Legacy Premier League. That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Julian's channel, and it's going to be a great day of Magic. So I'm going to go and get some dinner here. This was made by Gail. She works for Star City Games. So I hope to see many of you Thursday night at 7 p.m. for my next Legacy stream, and I'm going to send you over to a different Legacy streamer.